You've got questions, and we've got answers. Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, answering the questions that new leaders ask us. Actually, it's our goal to help all leaders be more successful, productive, and confident. And today we're talking about getting other people to care. Are you ready? Let's go. In a recent webinar, I was asked this question. Kevin, how do you get people to care? You can't make people care. See, that's what I think is underneath the question. Underneath the question was like, how do I get them to? How do I make them? You can't make them. You can't make anybody do anything for any length of time. You're not in control of that. See, a better question would be, how can I influence them to care more? Now, I know that wasn't the question that was asked, but here's the challenge with the whole idea. At this point, we still don't really know what the person is asking because we don't really know what they mean. See, what does it mean? Do they care? Or how do I get them to care? What does that even mean? So let me give you some ideas that really will help you be more influential here and really help you get what you really want from that question, okay? Here's the first one. What is the behavior? What is the behavior that you really want? Getting people to care, how do I know if they care? I don't know if they care. What's the behavior that you're talking about? So if I were having a conversation with you, and if this was your question, I'd be saying, so what's the behavior that they're actually exhibiting that's leading you to believe that they don't care? What's the behavior? Once you can describe the behavior, then we got something to work with. Because then we can check expectations and gaps. We can check for what is it that we expect out of their behavior, and then where's the gap between what they're actually doing and what we want them to be doing? It all starts there. So what's the behavior that we're seeing, and then how is that related to what we expect them to do or we want them to do? How do we know what caring looks like, right? Now, third thing I want you to do is to work to understand their perspective. See, maybe they do care. Or maybe they truly do care enough to be successful at their work. What you really want is for people to be exhibiting the right behaviors, right? Understand their perspective as to why they care at the level that they do or don't. Understanding their perspective will help you understand how you might influence them in some way. To number 4, help them see a new perspective. See, at some level, you're seeing the world differently than them, and you're throwing your perspective against their behavior and saying it's not measuring up. But once I understand their perspective better, then I can help them see a new one. If I don't try to understand theirs first, and I just try to thrust my perspective, try to thrust my ideas on them, they will likely be defensive, just like you would be. So, what is the behavior? Check expectations and gaps so we can line that up. Understand their perspective, then help them see a new perspective. Now, how do you do all 4 of those things? You do all 4 of those things by asking lots of questions. See, the way to influence others is to understand where they're coming from by asking questions, by getting them to think about what's going on as a way to get us to a new place. See, I don't know if we can make them care. I do know that if we want them to care more, we've got to get clearer about what we really mean. And if we ask a lot of questions in that process, we have the chance to influence them to care more, which I think is what was really being asked. Now, that's a good question. And I love answering good questions right here. And so if you've got a question you'd like me to talk about on a future episode, you need to send us a note. All the ways to do that are listed here. Send us a note, leave a comment below, and then we'll use your question in a future episode. How about that? Let me close with today's tweet. If you want people to care more, understand their perspective before imposing yours on them. Well, if this question and my answer was helpful to you, there's a bunch more of these in the past, and I've already told you that you can give us your question for us to include in the future. But if you go to the site listed here, our site to helping leaders be more successful, there's all kinds of great resources there, lots of free stuff, and we'll hope you'll take advantage of that. You'll also find out how you can pay us to help you more with all of the products and services we have. Either way, again, our goal is to help you be a more effective leader, and the Bud to Boss site can help you do exactly that. I hope you'll take a look there and hope you come back in the future for another episode of me answering your questions about new leaders.